I wanted to see if I could walk across the entire map of the Wild West with my gun drawn, with as few deaths as possible. This video is full of twists and character development than any of my other videos. Can I make it across the entire map without dying at all? Will anyone join my cause? You'll only know if you watch the video. My journey starts at Howling Peak, one of the tallest mountains in the game. I stopped quickly to buy myself a lantern so that I could see without needing a torch. I saw a deer that got its antlers stuck inside Fort Spencer, and I took its drops. I knew there were bison spawns nearby, so I clung to the walls of the fort so I could still see clearly, and tried not to make noise. Suddenly, a bison walked directly into my path. I considered my options: shooting it and risking being delayed or killed, walking somewhere else, waiting for it to leave. I chose the second option. The virtual animal stared at me as I walked around it. I didn't fire a shot, and I walked away unscathed. I also recently learned about the Russian roulette mechanism in one of the revolvers, and I decided to try it out, just to pass the time. And there it was, the city of Dorado. It was very calm when I strolled through. Despite being a large, walled city, it was virtually empty. As I walked out of Puerto Dorado, a random stranger was staring at me. He seemed suspicious of what I was doing, or why I was shooting at that random tree. I said hello when I turned around to continue my journey, but it turns out the stranger wanted to have a chat. He told me that I had a bounty. I stopped for a quick moment to check the leaderboard, to verify it, but as it turns out, it was false. I actually turned on hostile status, not knowing what I did, and that gave the danger title above my name tag, and so this person thought I had a bounty on me. The person went by the name Shotgun Santa, and he looked like one of the more experienced players around. He showed off his weapons and had much fun together. As we approached the swamp, I saw a red exclamation mark rapidly approaching my position on the map. A dangerous outlaw was running towards me. I continued walking, hoping that he would leave me alone. I announced to him what I was doing, and I carried on to the ferry to cross the river. This new person was also friendly and wanted to follow us on our trip. He offered to accompany us in case someone were to attack. As we approached the hunting cabin in the tribal forest, it was getting dark again. Walking through the forest in the dark could be dangerous, as we wouldn't be able to see bears or other players heading towards our location until it was too late. However, the other two members of our group didn't really mind that, and they decided to unload their weapons into the sky. We all joined in, and the sound of our gunfire rang out. Our luck didn't last very long. Just as we left the trouble village, a bear that probably heard our racket was very furious with us, and it knocked everyone over. It walked over slowly to my ragdolled body, and it stood on top of me, as if it wanted to eat me right then and there. However, I stayed down, and the bear could not hurt me. The others tried to distract the bear and neutralize it, but I got up too soon. Just as I thought the danger was over, the bear turned around and barreled right into me. A fatal hit. This was the first of many deaths to come. Oh man, rip. I thought I could have been lucky on the first one, but I guess it ran out too soon. I respawned and I continued on with my new allies to Silver Hill. Since one of us had a bounty and was wanted, we were soon tracked down by bounty hunters. The lawman was on horseback and announced his presence to us by firing first. A violent gunfight erupted, but I chose not to attack. They ran around the trees, up and down the hill, while I just stood there, mining. Eventually, the attacker was stopped, and we finished our mining. We split our loot, and we progressed to Fort Tyler, prison camp. The southernmost part of the map was really quiet, so we had some downtime to chat. Shotgun told a tale of a very rare, valuable, tough, overpowered, and almost legendary animal that spawned that would give an insane profit. These animals are called, well, legendary animals. We arrived at Fort Henry, one of the occupiable forts in the game. We've been through so much, survived most of the dangers of the Wild West, fended off enemy players, and walked so far that we would not let a mere fort that had a chance that there were players inside who would fire on us would stop our journey. We proudly announced our presence, and I stormed the fort at a walking pace. My companions ran ahead to scout out the area while I hurried behind them. I hoped that we could walk by, just sneak past the fort in the cover of the night, past any players hiding inside, past the bison that were resting, but someone decided that it was a good idea to shoot the bison, probably in hopes of getting the animal meat to sell later when we reached the city. However, what we did not know was the game mechanic dead. Even though we passed the fort unscathed, the bison had heard our ruckus, and one of them charged into me, even though I didn't actually hit it. I did not see it in time, and I was knocked off my feet. My crew quickly realized their mistake, and I tried to save me by shooting the bison down. However, nobody could land any shots at first. Bullets whizzed over and around the bison, who could not pathfind to them, so it stood there, and eventually got shot. Eventually, the danger passed. Or so I thought.
Oh, damn!
Oh man. I didn't think. I stood there, staring at my computer, completely dumbfounded at the tragedy that had occurred. It appears that a second bison had been enraged, and it chose to charge straight into me. I didn't react in time, and that caused my demise. I will have to cut my journey short, because this video has taken way too long to edit. How many more deaths will occur on my journey around the Wild West map? You can only guess until I reveal it. This took insane amounts of time to edit, and I still have at least 20 more minutes of footage, so I'll have to turn the video into parts. Hope everyone was at least occupied by watching this video, and I will see you in another month or something.